It is what you're doing with yourself 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and may all beings benefit from it. But our challenge is not to wait till the 100 million show up. Our challenge is to do what? One at a time. You see, knowing what's really going on in ourself and this thing called life is what? It is the first step in change. And if we want change for the better, what we're doing is honoring the realization that we should always want change for the better, no matter how good it is now. And I have a challenge for all of us. How many are ready to get higher than the world's fear about this economy and the world's fear about this? I've been in this pulpit for 36 years. This is about the fourth version of this we've gone through. And guess what? We survived all of them. And what we need to do is know that we are moving forward. If we allow ourselves to take this step in courage, everybody say, I choose to take a step in courage this morning. In a positive direction. Now, what you do if you do this, if you really honor what you just said, is you're allowing yourself a journey that will allow you to begin to experience you in a whole new way, no matter how wonderful it is now. And you'll begin to taste the richness of true living in all of its colors. You will be living at the level of positive attention. And that's wonderful. That's a wonderful thing to do. It's a wonderful thing to be. When we allow ourselves to wake ourselves out of the stuff that's going around us, what happens to us is we find ourselves doing something that benefits us. And when I share this with you, see how many of you have allowed yourself a version of this. If you have an odor in your house, what do? Just let it remain, or do you find out where it is? And when you find it, you pick it up and you take it to the trash. And you get rid of whatever's making that odor. Okay, don't you? Okay? How many know that you would not just sit around for the next year and complain about the odor? What would you do? You would find out what's causing the odor, and you would allow yourself to celebrate that you now know where it's coming from, and then walk it personally all the way to the trash and flush it or whatever else you need to do to it, and get it where? Out of your house, out of your life, out of your world. See, how many are ready to stop maintaining some equivalent to odor in your life right now and take it to the trash? Everybody ready to do that? Okay, let's do it this morning. Do it. You do it where? In consciousness. You see, we can find moments of quiet. We can allow ourselves the experience of study. I have never stopped, isn't it wonderful? I think that was the greatest thing I found out about this. Two things, we're very privileged in religious science because we attract Protestants and Catholics and people from the Jewish community and Islam and Buddhists and Shinto, and it's great. And I always love our Islamic students and our Jewish students because they know how to study. I was one of those Southern Baptists sat there and tell me what to think, tell me what to think, tell me what to think. Okay, that's fine. That's needed for them, and that's why it was needed for me until I said, wait a minute, I can think for myself. Okay? I could think for myself. And then I found religious science, and I found out that I could think about what I think about, and if I didn't like what I was thinking about, what it was producing, I could change my mind. Where? Everybody say it. Now. Now. Now, what do we need to do? Look at yourself. And look at the study that you're involved in. If you're not in class, get in class. If you're not in class, get down here. How many are Emmett Fox fans? Okay, how many are Emmett Fox fans and you're not here for Cynthia's and Mary Jo and Dar's thing? Were you here the Wednesday? Okay, get down here. Find out who Emmett Fox is. Find out that you can study what he knew and understood. You see, when you do this, what happens is you find yourself getting rid of erroneous thinking. You get rid of habitual thinking. You get rid of all the number of times that you have applied the negative concepts in your own life, in areas of your life, you find yourself moving from anger to fulfillment. You find yourself doing what? You find yourself reaping noticeable benefit, as Dr. Holmes suggested that we can do. Everyone say, I find noticeable benefits in my relationships with everything and everyone. I am incisive. I awaken my attention in a greater way, and I make a great contribution to my life. You see, this teaching is designed to do what? Dismantle the reactive patterns that rule our lives. How many have already found yourself doing that? To dismantle the reaction patterns. If you don't like what's going on in your world, don't react at its level, act from your level. Don't see it as the negative see it as what? Possibility. See it in a higher way. As Spensky said, don't undertake these practices without a teacher. We always need a teacher, and one should follow the path that they are on. Why? Because the path they are on, if it's moving in the right way, is allowing them to do what? It's allowing them to understand that as far as they are moving forward, they have the opportunity to long for a greater life and know it's good enough to be true. That they're longing for change the better, and it's never too late. That God in us has us, and when you practice this and you begin to wake up and you begin to see the reality of all things in your life, you begin to know and know that anyone that practices this will find positive change unfolding as their life experience, and you will find again that these techniques go back thousands of years, both east and west. Since then, we have had some very interesting things happen. If you follow it, many strange cultural, mystical, and dogmatic artifacts have been applied to this great awareness. And then we find ourselves doing what? If this morning, I want all of you to imagine, hold your hand up like this. Imagine that you have a magic wand. And it was really what you used to think a magic wand is. And what if you could wave that magic wand and strip all of the nonsense away out of your life? And all the nincompoopry, and all of your blame game, and all of your reasons for being unhappy, and all of that other stuff, all of your dogmatic artifacts, and all of your other stuff in your life. If you could do that, you would find that this teaching is very much like a magic wand, okay? That you can eliminate it, and you can move forward. One of my teachers had his finger in my face one day when I was, after a number of classes, running on about something, and he told me that I was globalized. And he told me, you must stop being globalized if you're going to change your life. And what he was saying is, be not conformed to the world. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And there's too many people out there that are globalized in relationship to money. They're globalized in relationship to religion. They're globalized in relationship to relationships. They're globalized in so many ways. I, at the time, did not like knowing the truth of myself. Ben McComb said, you know this is a powerful teaching because you don't always like what you discover. How many have already been through that? Okay. Oh, okay. I didn't choose to do that. Was it in your world? Yeah, it was something in you did. Okay, something in you did. Now, Shakespeare said in Midsummer Night's Dream, the lunatic, the lover, and the poet are all are of imagination, all compact. The lunatic, the lover, and the poet are all thinking, and they're all creating what? Their own experience. It has been said that the kingdom of good will be realized on earth When the without shall become within, thy will be done, thy kingdom come to earth as it is in heaven. It is a realization of the unity which takes place when the real is linked to the ideal. It is then that we experience what we can become, and our experience becomes a legitimate offspring in the outer world of the inner sense of happiness and well-being. We find ourselves giving birth to a better and better life as we let go and let it happen. That's the words of our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes. He knows what he's talking about. I've been here 47 years. I know what he just said and what I just shared with you is good enough to be true. My challenge to you is to wake up and know you know it and act like you know it. And if you do, you will celebrate being here this morning and being challenged to do it. So everybody affirm with me. I wake up. I wake up. I direct my life. I direct my life. And I allow myself to be loving kindness in action. And that's the way it is. Namaste. Thank you for being here this morning. Thank you, everybody.